Hello, I'm Roy Allen, Deputy Warden. We're back for video number 4 in our series on the restoration of All Saints Church. We're going to have a look at some millwork today, some new lighting. We're even going to take a walk up into the bell tower and have a look there. So let's go inside and see the progress that's been made. Looking at the narthex screen, which is nearing completion. It has had stain and varnish applications, but the tracery has not yet been applied. This is an example of some of the tracery which has been painted to provide a contrast against the stained finish of the narthex. Installation of the new wainscoting is almost complete. It's made of clear pine and has been stained and varnished with the same color as the ceiling trusses. What you see here is an example of the old oak paneling that was in the chancel and sanctuary. I have with me a piece of the new oak paneling, and you can see the replication is almost exact. It's not yet finished and will be installed approximately at that height, so there's a piece missing below it. But we wanted you to see this in its present form. There is another example of that oak paneling, albeit it's standing on its end. As you look into the chancel and sanctuary area, you see new lights that have been installed. This scaffolding which you see will permit access to the ceiling. We have an artist, Rosa Danzig, who will be stenciling patterns onto the ceiling, replicating things that were in place in the late 20s. With the reorientation of the chancel and bringing the altar forward, the aumbrey, formerly located in the back corner, has been now brought forward. It is encased behind plywood to protect it while this part of the project is going on. And under this pile of scaffolding, you can see the chancel extension. There is still a step to be added to that. After the fire, the font was encased in a large crate, as it is far too heavy to try to move. This is the first time we've uncrated it to see the condition. It's covered with soot, and next week will be cleaned by a conservator. You can see the lid, which is wood, also suffering the effects of the fire. It too will be restored. This is a section of the old balcony railing, kept as a sample after the fire. Our intention had been to replace this with a more transparent railing, but still retain some of the ornamental millwork. Very prohibitive costs of almost $30,000 caused us to rethink this course of action. We are going to reinstall what we had and utilize the savings in other areas of the rebuild. You can see some of the new millwork pieces for the balcony. They are a close replication, almost exact, to what we had before the fire. The openings have been reduced slightly to conform with building code requirements. You're looking at one of the large, heavy oak doors from the front of the building. These are the ones that face down onto Dundas Street. They have been sanded and all the damage from the fire removed, but they have not had their finished stain applied at this time. As Tim pans across the balcony, you can see the new posts and top rail somewhat obscured by the temporary railing. You can also look on the balcony to see new electrical panels. We still require a door to the steeple, and you'll see a couple of the new light fixtures have been installed above the balcony. We're standing on the balcony. You can see the whole panorama of the church. Some of the new lights have been installed. They are a replication of what we had. While they're old in design looking, they use high efficient fluorescent bulbs. Standing in the door to the bell tower, where I'm standing right now was a heavy oak door which protected the interior of the tower from the fire. You can see the carillon console, which is essentially intact, although a little dirty, but it was not affected by the fire. We may have to replace the light, however, as it seems to have seen better days. You will notice new electrical fixtures in place, as well as a dry sprinkler system pipe extending up to the top of the tower. We're going to go up into the bell tower to have a look and show you the existing condition of the bells, and you can see some of the dry sprinkler system that's been installed. We're going to go down to the basement and have a look at new door installations and the completed sprinkler system. We're standing in the south end of the basement. You'll be able to see new light fixtures which have been installed, new fire alarm systems and exit lights, emergency lighting, and here are examples of the new doors for the choir rooms, which all contain windows due to diocesan policy. We're standing in what was the ladies' choir change room. It will receive a coat of paint before we begin use of it again. But wanted to see new lighting installed, sprinkler system installed. This pipe here is a drain for the sprinkler system when service is required. A tremendous effort was needed to drill through these massive walls to accommodate this pipe from the north end of the building all the way to the south end. We're standing in the choir practice room, which has seen the installation of the drywall. Of course, it still has to be painted. As we move northward, you can see the rather complex sprinkler apparatus that we now have in our building. This compressor provides compressed air to the dry system. The dry system extends up into the unheated attic portion of the church. Pressure must be maintained. Should a fire break out, a sprinkler head will release the air. A valve here then opens and water travels up to the affected areas. Similarly, this is the wet system, which is maintained at approximately 125 psi compared to the city pressure of about 80 psi. We have a pump here which will help boost the pressure should it be required. Again, in the event of a fire, The sprinkler head affected will release water. This valve opens and allows a flow up to the affected area. Unlike the movies, only the sprinkler head affected by the fire releases water. They don't all turn on at once, although it doesn't make for a good movie. We're standing outside the front doors of the church. We wanted to show you the Siamese sprinkler connection that the fire department will use in the unlikely event we have another fire here. They can connect up to this and pump more water into the building. This is all part of our fire sprinkler protection system. We're standing in the furnace room. You can see the 3 new furnaces have been installed, which will service the church. We're in the room situated below the organ chamber. This is the original foundation of the church. These jacks were holding up the organ room floor. You can see new lighting has been installed in here, as well as a sprinkler line. Everywhere in the church has fire sprinkler protection. As Tim stands up and looks up, you can see the interior of the organ chamber. The new organ installation will fill both of these levels. Blowers and air reservoirs down here, pipes, etc., all the way up to the top of that upper chamber. The project is nearing completion, but there's still a tremendous amount of work to be done. We hope this video has been helpful in providing you examples of the ongoing work and the great effort by an awful lot of people. We will certainly make another video showing more and more of the completed effort, hopefully something involving the installation of the organ and the new flooring. Until that time, thanks very much.